Hi there. My name is Deb Blum and I'm the founder of The Whole Soul Way. Hopefully, you've been enjoying reading this page. I wanted to come in and talk a little bit about my perspective on therapy and coaching and share a little bit about why I created this program. Okay? All right. So, I have benefited from a lot of therapy. I worked with a transpersonal therapist who I would say saved my marriage and saved me. She helped me to find myself. And I've worked with somatic experiencing coaches and other healers. I've done EMDR and EFT and every other thing you can imagine. I've done them, and they have really served me in many ways. But something that I've come to understand is that we actually have the power to do our own inner work to a large degree. But we don't have a map. People haven't been really teaching us how. For me, it felt like I've had to read countless books, take countless classes, work with countless therapists to the tunes of probably, my gosh, easily tens of thousands of dollars, easily, but probably, I bet you, encroaching on six figures and many years. And over that time, what I've come to see is this. I think that every one of us has an internal guidance system. And there are people who have been teaching this. Carl Jung teaches something like this. Buddhism teaches something like this. There's a lot of bodies of work who are teaching this. But I think that it's just confusing and a lot to sift through and a lot to consolidate down into, like, what are the step-by-step instructions to get there? So, because I believe that we have an internal guidance system and we're just not taught how to use it, I think that's one of the missing pieces. Is I think we need to be taught how to use our internal guidance system, and that is the primary premise of the Whole Soul Way. It's actually what the Soul Way GPS is. It's an actual process that shows you how to go through everything that happens in your life, to take that as an opportunity for you to learn something about yourself. And I'm talking more, yes, you can use things like big things like divorce or other like bigger experiences, but I'm more talking about day-to-day disruptions, feelings, triggers, judgments, blame. It's like the little things that are happening all through our day that are not aligned with love and peace, those things, that we use those as an opportunity to find a part of ourselves that we've cut off from, find a wounded part of ourselves, find an exiled part of ourselves, something like that, and to go through and reintegrate that into wholeness. So here's what I think. I think that we are in a point right now where we're saying everybody needs therapy and everybody needs a coach. And I do believe that everybody can benefit from a good therapist and a good coach. But not everybody can afford it. Not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody has had good experiences with it. And often it leaves us not knowing, when we're done with therapy, we still don't really know how to do our work. Like if we come up with a new thing, we feel like we need to go to the therapist. Or even when you're working with a therapist, like the number of times that I would have a thing that happened to me, and then I would wait until I would write it down and then wait until I met with my therapist to talk it over, because I was learning how to do this work. But I want people to know how to do the work so that they have a map. They know exactly how to use their inner guidance system. They know exactly how to use external circumstances that are difficult for them, and to be able to bring themselves through a process over and over and over again, to go on what I would call the spiral of healing, which is that we keep meeting things over and over again, and we learn at new levels of healing, and we heal at new levels of healing, and we evolve and mature and come into greater wholeness over our lifetime. And So the reason why I'm talking about this is because it feels really important to me to help you to understand that when you come into this program, you're not, yes, you're going to experience transformation, and yes, you're going to get a lot of support. But my main focus is for you to walk away knowing this process and feeling like you are going to be able to work through this process over and over again for the rest of your life, for as long as you meet new things, for as long as you get maybe your triggers are going to slowly come down and you're not going to feel as triggered, for sure. But, things still happen in our lives. People still disappoint us. People still say things that may poke at a part of us. And so we need the ability to be the leader of our own personal journey, but we also need to be a leader of our lives. And that's what I think we learn here. And so I'm not discounting therapy, but I just think that there are people who really need therapy because they have maybe a diagnosis and a real challenge that they're going through that really needs that support. But I also think that sometimes we go to therapy and then we are looking for an external solution. We're looking for a diagnosis. We're looking to blame somebody else. We're looking to have someone else fix us. And I invite the people to come to this program who really want to be responsible for themselves, who want to be able to be on this journey themselves, who want to know how to journal and do self-inquiry, to be able to know how to navigate those difficult situations and to not need to pathologize. See, here's the other problem is I feel like we pathologize being a human, and I don't want to pathologize being a human. I don't think there's anything wrong with most people. I think, and even the people who have a diagnosis, I don't think there's something, yes, they have to heal. They have work to do. And some people may actually need more than many of us will ever need. I'm not discounting that. I don't want to dismiss a person's experience. But a lot of the women that work with me, they don't have something that's a diagnosis. They have life struggles. They're human beings that struggle, and they need to be woken up out from the idea that they're broken. They need to wake up from that. They need to see that things that happened in your life caused you to get where you are right now, and that we can unpack from that. We can unhook from the way that you have been programmed, if you will. And I also think that the craziest part is that so much of what's happening in our lives is actually totally by design. It's the way our brain works. Our brain literally does these things that cause us to get into these autopilot places, cause us to get reactive, cause us to be triggered, cause us to have bad behaviors, and yell at people or withdraw love or, get angry or whatever. That's literally the way our brain works. And so we just need to know how our brain works, which is what one of the things we learn in here is how our brain works and why we do what we do, so that we can have a lot more compassion for ourselves. And then we actually know how to unhook from it, because the problem is that we're talking like a person who gets triggered is broken, or a person who is avoidant of closeness is broken, when actually we learned it as an adaptation to our circumstances, and we just keep playing out patterns. But if we understand it, we can actually interrupt it, and we could choose a different path. So I think something like the Whole Soul Way, and there are other people who I'm sure are doing very similar things in the world, so I'm not saying this is the only place you're going to be able to learn it, but I do believe that it is specifically designed for women who tend to be have high expectations and busy minds, and tend to be the people who have sacrificed themselves in a bid to make other people's lives better, have kind of, silenced their own truth to keep the peace, who have it's like a pattern of self-abandonment, choosing acceptance over authenticity, being overly accommodating and flexible. These women work best with me because it is my story, and so I've unpacked from my own story, and so I have learned this system to be able to help people. But the truth is, my system is useful to everyone because it is the magical but totally human process of going through and and cleaning up from our past, from the process of learning how to be more brave, the process of learning how to source safety from within instead of wanting our outside circumstances to provide us permission and safety, to feel like you truly are standing in your power. So if that's what you think you need, I think that most women, I mean, truly, I think most of the people that I've met, they're really in the place where they know they want this. Like, you probably know you want this. You're just like, I know I want to live more fully. I know I want to show up more fully. I know I want to do that, that thing, like either, change the pattern of my relationship. I want to feel like I have more emotional connection or mutually fulfilling friendships, or you want to be able to launch a business or write a book or follow some other passion project, or not be as reactive to your children, or something, whatever it is that you want, that it's hard for you to get it because you are playing out old patterns. Yeah, this is the kind of work that you probably need. And if you want to do this alongside of working with a therapist or working with a coach, or you want to get extra support and working with me, that's great. But I think this program really does show the pathway to really see the way that our brains, in its best attempt to help us, are and to keep us safe, which it did for years. We need to understand how it works and how all of those strategies our brain used in the past to keep us safe and to help us as children, they're not really working for us anymore. So we need to unhook from all those, and we need to find another way. And the other way is the whole soul way. So I hope you understand this, and I hope that I hope that what I'm saying to you is helping to clarify why I believe that we need to stop pathologizing people for being a human being. We need to stop thinking people are broken. We all experience traumatic experiences as we're younger because we're little, and we interpret the world as a place. So when we first come in, we come in with the sense that we are just innocent and everything is wonderful. But as soon as anyone starts to put some parameters around our behaviors and give us feedback on who we are, or they are impatient with us, we take it personally, and we think that we're wrong or bad, and then we play that out in our lives. And you know what? That's just part of being a child and being a human being. And it doesn't even mean that as a child, our interpretations were accurate. We might have had false interpretations. Nonetheless, we carry around belief systems that we play out in our current life, and those belief systems become self-fulfilling prophecies, and we stay stuck in old patterns. And so until we start to pay attention to those and unhook from them, they're going to keep playing out patterns, and it's going to be hard for us to live authentically because we're going to feel afraid. So it's just part of being a human being. And it saddens me that we've decided to turn this into some type of pathology instead of just teaching everyone how to use our internal guidance system that's built into every single person to be empowered to be the leader of our own personal growth journey. I like to say to people, one of the elements that's a big element of the Whole Soul Way program is the art of learning to parent ourselves, to step in as our own parent. And I tell people that's because we have to pick up where our parents left off. Our parents were imperfect human beings who did the best they could, hopefully, and they did not do it all right. They missed the mark. They did not attune to you in the ways that you needed, and they did not complete the job because guess what? When you're 18, you have to do the rest of it. You have to be the one that grows yourself up. You have to be the one that becomes parents yourself to become that emotionally and spiritually whole and mature woman that you're here to be. That's a disappointment for a lot of people because we always want someone else to save us. But I'm just giving you a little bit of an insight into that's one of the things we do. And I say we pick up where our parents left off because we are raising ourselves for the rest of our lives. We're maturing and growing and becoming more whole and living more true to ourselves for the rest of our lives, if we're lucky. So anyway, I just don't want you to think you're broken, because I don't think you're broken. I think you just need to know how to use, you need to, it's like we know how to take care of our physical body. We know how to, lift our weights and go for walks, and we know how to, whatever, do all the things, feed our body, but we don't really have excellent mental hygiene. We don't really know how the brain works. We don't really know how to do what we need to do in order to mature into whole women. And I want to teach you that. So I'm glad you're here. And I also want to remind you that you can continue to read through the sales page for sure, and you'll get a lot of information. But probably what would be even more helpful for you is to jump on a call with me and to tell me a little bit about what it is that you're going through, what it is that you want in your life, and we can talk about how to bridge the gap and decide, like, is the whole soul way the path for you? Is this what you're ready for? And then we can talk about that. We can also just talk about if it's not the right way, like what is, what do you need? All right. So there is a button, and it is there for you to take the next step, which is to get on a call with me. And I can't wait to meet you.